In this video, we're going to be finding the zeros of these functions. Problem A says f of x equals x minus 1 times quantity x plus 2. Now this is intercept form of a quadratic. Now really what we're doing is we're finding the zeros. I mean, we want to know where is their x-intercepts. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace our f of x with a 0. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And so what we have is 0 equals the quantity x minus 1 times the quantity x plus 2. Now from here we're able to use the zero product property. And what that says is that we can take each of our pieces and set them each equal to 0 and then solve. So here we'll add 1 to both sides, giving us x equals 1. Here we'll subtract 2 from both sides and get x equals a negative 2. And those are our solutions. Now if we take a look at letter B says f of x equals negative 2x squared minus 10x minus 12. This is in standard form for our quadratic. But to solve it, we do the same first step. We're going to replace our f of x with a 0. So we'll have 0 equals negative 2x squared minus 10x minus 12. And from here, we will factor. So I'm going to notice that each of these pieces, a 2 will go into it. And because there's a negative in the front, I'm going to take out a negative as well. So I'm going to take out a negative 2. So I still have my 0 equals. I'm going to take out a negative 2. And so negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a 1. So x squared. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is a positive 5. So I'll have a positive 5x. And negative 12 divided by negative 2 is a positive 6. Then from here, I will factor my inside pieces. So I'm looking for two numbers that will multiply to 6 but add to 5. So I can try the numbers 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Looking at my numbers, I see that here my symbols will be the same and that my bigger number is going to be a positive. So they're both going to be the same and they're both going to be positives. So if I carry that out, that's going to give me a 7 and a 5. So I'm going to see that I want to use the 2 and the 3. So now I have 0 equals, I need to bring down the negative 2. So negative 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 3. And now this looks an awful lot like vertex form. So from here, we're able to take each of our pieces and set them equal to 0. So I'm going to start, I'm going to have negative 2 equals 0. And I'm going to have x plus 2 equals 0. And we're going to have x plus 3 equals 0. So I have all three pieces. So we're going to take a look at our first piece, and we have negative 2 equals 0. Well, that's not true. That doesn't make any sense. So that is not going to be a solution. We'll cancel that out. And it didn't even have an x in it. There's no variables. So next, we're going to be subtracting 2 from both sides. That's going to give us x equals negative 2. Here, we'll subtract 3 from both sides, and that will give us x equals negative 3. And those will be our two solutions. Let's do one more together. Here we have h of x equals the quantity x minus 1 times x squared minus 16. So if we count this, we should see we have 3 x's. 1, and then this one counts for 2. So 2, 3. So we have 3 answers here. So we're going to replace our h of x with a 0. So we'll start there. So 0 equals x minus 1 times x squared minus 16. And then this one looks just like our vertex form for letter A. In fact, this is vertex form of a cubic function. So from here, we'll do our zero product property. And that's where we're going to take each piece and set it equal to 0. So we'll have x minus 1 equals 0. And we'll have x squared minus 16 equals 0. From here, we'll then solve. So we'll begin by adding 1 to each side and get x equals a 1. And over here, we'll add our 16 to both sides. And that will give us x squared equals 16. Then from there, to get the x by itself, we'll have to take the square root. So that will give us x equals a plus or a minus 4. We can have a positive or a negative 4. And so that's our two answers. So we're actually going to break that down and write it twice. So we can rewrite this as x equals 4 and x equals negative 4. And those are our three answers. So we could write them down this way. Or we even could have used the x equals plus or minus 4 like that as well. Either way would have been fine as long as you have all three answers. So that's how you find the zeros of a function.